What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Going to do a post-fight breakdown. Talk about what happened in the bout, what should be happening after, should be happening after the bout. First things first, definitely going to be doing some live streams later today. And so please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we do the live streams. We have very, very good, mature audience in the live streams, and it's a great way to have real-time conversations and get real-time feedback on your opinion on videos, or ask questions about boxing and all that good stuff. So please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can take part in that. Also, hit me up on Twitter. The link is in the description box. F9 Boxing. Yeah, so let's get into it. First things first, here's the synopsis. Deontay Wilder's the man in the heavyweight division. Extremely, for people that don't know, and I can't believe if you're a boxing fan, if you don't know, then I got to question whether or not you're really a boxing fan or not if you don't know and didn't see what was going on in that fight. If you missed it, you missed a classic. It's right there with Anthony Joshua's win over Vladimir Klitschko. I feel the same way after this fight for Deontay Wilder as I felt for Anthony Joshua. It was a time when somebody just comes into their own and sets themselves above. And that's what Deontay Wilder, that's what I believe Anthony Joshua did when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And I think that's what Deontay Wilder did when he put down Luis King Kong Ortiz. Of course, they did it in slightly different fashions. And the one was coming out, one was, a Hall of Famer, a 41-year-old Hall of Famer, who hadn't fought in a couple years, was coming off a loss against Tyson Fury, but at the same time was a Hall of Famer, dangerous fighter, and that's Vladimir Klitschko. And Vladimir Klitschko ain't no soft touch. Vladimir Klitschko could come out of retirement and fight 3 months from now, and he still ain't gonna be a soft touch. That was the king of the heavyweight division for almost a decade, he and his brother, and so that was an amazing accomplishment for Anthony Joshua. Here we got Luis King Kong Ortiz, has to be the most avoided heavyweight, a 6'4" counterpunching southpaw Cuban fighter, Cuban pedigree fighter. Technically excellent, just deathly counterpunches, and Deontay Wilder did what he had to do to beat that guy and knock him out in devastating fashion, having come back from being from apparently having been hurt in the 7th round to come get him in the 10th. Now, the thing that really stood out to me, man, first I want to give credit to Luis Ortiz. People didn't think King Kong Ortiz is some old man. You got it completely and utterly twisted. That was not some old man in that ring last night. That was not a dude with a broken hand. That wasn't a guy that was out of shape. That wasn't a guy that was overrated. It was none of that. That was a hell of a fighter. A hell of a fighter who would have beaten probably anybody else on the planet last night. And I think after this fight, there's no shame in him having lost. Leading up to the fight, I wasn't sure about who was going to win the fight. I said a 50-50 fight the whole way. I can't say it. I wasn't going with Deontay Wilder walking up and knocking him out in 3 rounds and just, hitting him on the chin and that being it. I didn't believe that. I knew that Luis Ortiz was too good for that. And Luis Ortiz proved that he was too good for that. His ability to counterpunch, man, when Deontay Wilder would come in with something, man, he had to jump back because everything he threw, even throughout the whole fight, whenever he threw something was coming back at him. And it took a while for Deontay Wilder to try to figure that out. But Luis Ortiz, his ability to counterpunch and just to have something, give Deontay Wilder something to think about when he let his right hand go or whatever punch he let go, there was always something coming back. So, and Luis Ortiz was in there to win. For the guy that wrote that article, that highly irresponsible article from Deadspin, talking about, how this fight was, set up, whatever, for Deontay Wilder, and how Deontay Wilder is the worst heavyweight champion in the history, one of the worst heavyweight champions ever. Like, man, this fight just showed exactly how trash what a trash idea that was. Because Luis Ortiz did not come to lay down. And Luis Ortiz got a chin. Because Luis Ortiz could have been knocked out in the second or third round because he got hit with a monster bomb there too. It just took it. Took several. But hey, man, you can only take so many of them bombs. And that's exactly, man, rightfully named the Bomb Squad. Man, so my hats just go, honestly, man, I was so impressed with Luis Ortiz and being a fan of, the Cuban fighters. Cuba took a hit last night. They took a hit last night with Sullivan Barrera getting stopped by Demetrius Bivol. You got Luis Ortiz being stopped by Deontay Wilder. So, definitely wasn't the best day, man. It was not the best day for Cubans last night. But, from my understanding is that's a cool $500,000 sitting in Luis Ortiz's pocket. He really showed true skill, and he'll be back. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back, man. So, I don't want to hear when the excuses start popping. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear anything about how Luis Ortiz was old, how he had calcium buildup on his hand, or whatever. Because if you don't appreciate the skill that Luis Ortiz showed in that ring, then I don't know what to tell you, man. In my book, I just think you're just making something up because you just want to tear somebody. You just want to tear Deontay Wilder down, right? Ticket sales didn't save, the number of ticket sales last night at a packed building. Everybody was excited. It was an incredible performance. I bet you this, man. He shows up there again and again 14,000 people. I thought it was 19,000. The capacity was 19,000, but they didn't open all the seats up, man. So 14,000. They had a legitimate 14,000 people in the building last night to support Deontay Wilder, and they were clearly with Deontay Wilder through the whole fight. Man, that was absolutely excellent, man. But my seriously, shout out to Luis Ortiz. Sometimes we look at these bouts and we think that, hey, man, talk about Deontay Wilder, and I'm going to get on Deontay Wilder, but I definitely wanted a segment a little tough to give, because you can't, and I've said this before, you can't give Deontay Wilder his full credit if you don't give Luis Ortiz his credit. And leading into the fight, that's what I definitely was doing, and definitely believed that and everybody else, that, man, different factions on for the internet boxing community, the YTBC, definitely the brothers in the LDBC were saying that the whole time. And that's an honest assessment of the fight that was going to happen, man, is this was a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous fight. And it was dangerous every minute of the fight. Man, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't imagine how much Pepto-Bismol and all kind of tummy, stomach medicines and stuff like that people were on, man, just waiting for this fight to happen. And when the seventh round came, man, Luis Ortiz, almost had it. He almost had it. And we're going to hear, and once again, it's another situation where, Deontay Wilder was getting outboxed. He was getting outboxed. But he was in there. He had a chance to get in there with a guy that had the ability to outbox anybody. Luis Ortiz will outbox anybody in the heavyweight division, except for maybe Tyson Fury if he comes back. And that's a maybe. In my opinion, Luis Ortiz was the cat. When I went through my top 4 dudes, and I was like, it's Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, and Tyson Fury. I was like, man, the only cat that I thought had the ability to cleanly outbox and deal with Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury, I think, is a great boxer, was Luis Ortiz. And so I'm giving him his credit I give him his credit in the lead up, giving his, on the way in, I'm giving him his credit. I'm going to give his credit on the way out. That man did his thing. Deontay Wilder set himself apart last night. He set him from outside, the way that he overcame the fact that he didn't even have a jab. Because Luis Ortiz was masterful southpaw. So he had him hand right in front, close to the front of Deontay Wilder's jab. He just knocked the jab down. There's nothing he could do with it. So, Deontay Wilder's most dangerous thing is the 1-2. And knowing that his most dangerous thing is the 1-2, he only had a 1. I mean, he only had a 2, a straight right, and that was taken away as well for the majority of the fight. His uppercut, man, was so, man, I didn't realize Deontay Wilder had an that uppercut, when he was able to get it in, man, that was bananas, man. That was actually the fight that stopped, the punch that stopped the fight was the uppercut for Deontay Wilder. I was like, man, he threw it, I think, God, man, it must have been the second round. Deontay Wilder threw an uppercut at him, and I was like, man, if that uppercut lands, man, it's night-night. And eventually in round 10, what actually stopped him, this picture you see right here with with the umpiree's hand laid out, that was an uppercut, man. that was a right uppercut, man, that put him out after he'd already been hurting. So, but the most important thing about him was what he did that Deontay Wilder did was when he got hurt. There's an interview that was done by after the fight with shout out to the legendary, absolutely legendary Evander Holyfield, who, by the way, it was nice to see another all-time great heavyweight in Evander Holyfield pay his respect to Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder was in the I guess they were leaving the building or whatever, and back behind closed doors, not behind closed doors, but whatever, in the back where the boxers and the Deontay Wilder and his crew were leaving. They were talking to Evander Holyfield, and Evander Holyfield started talking about what he saw in Deontay Wilder and how he thought one of the things that impressed him most was what Deontay Wilder did when he got hurt, and how a lot of people wind up getting knocked out because when they get hurt, they go straight backwards. But what Deontay Wilder did when he got hurt is he came forward. He crowded him. He being 6'7" and having Luis Ortiz being down low, Deontay Wilder's head was safe and out of the way. And it wasn't somewhere, he didn't put his head where Luis Ortiz could could catch him on the end of his punches. And he was able to do that for the 7th round. And then after he got, survived the 7th round. And basically in the 7th round, he's looking at people like, man, I ain't hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm good. I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm good. Man, that was just calm under pressure. That's one of the things, man, I'm telling you, I'm happy about Deontay Wilder, man. And I think the heavyweight division and boxing in general, man, is just, this should be what, man, I've been looking for a while. For a while, man. I thought the heavyweight division was going to be like this when Tyson Fury beat Klitschko. I thought, okay, yeah, now this is going to be the end of all, now we got a fresh start. The heavyweight division can be on and popping again. We had Tyson Fury come over to the States after a Deontay Wilder fight, get in the ring, get in Deontay Wilder's face, do the face off, get to screaming. And I was like, man, this is going to be on, man. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, look at these two big boys. This is going to go on. And it never happened because of whatever was going on over there in the UK with Tyson Fury. Won't even get into what that was, but, suffice it to say, man, it didn't happen. Then you have Vladimir Klitschko. Losing to Anthony Joshua. And so like, okay, it can be on again. Now it's on. Okay, we got Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko. So now he's the the WBA and the IBF champion. And now, all right, man, now we've got Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury gets back, we got Deontay Wilder, we got Anthony Joshua. And this, what I'm going to say now it's not a knock on Anthony Joshua personally. But man, we got super, super prima donna attitude coming up out of Eddie Hearn. I mean, super prima donna. It's prima donna at the truth. I mean, as far as, so I got to give Anthony Joshua his credit, man. I'm not never have tried to take away Anthony Joshua. The fact that Anthony Joshua is a big, big star who's bringing in the bulk, who up until as of this minute is bringing in the bulk of the money from the fan base in the UK. because he has a country that supports him, behind him. Then they're selling out, whatever, 70, 80, 90,000 tickets, the whole nine. Without a doubt, man, the dude is monetarily the big dog in the fight. But that's just what's going on outside the ring. What's going on in the ring, nobody has proved it. Anthony Joshua's not proved that he's the man in boxing yet. He's not. He might have proved that he can make a lot of money. He's definitely proved that he can make a lot of money, but he had not proven that he's the number one heavyweight in the world. And I thought, just listening to what was going on with Eddie Hearn and the talking back and forth, and also at the end of the fight, you had Shelly Finkel. Shelly Finkel get up there, share an email that he had, or text that he had with Eddie Hearn, where he said, look, I'm going to send you, I guess Eddie Hearn, Shelly Finkel, who is the manager for Deontay Wilder, had a conversation with Barry Hearn, who is the father of Eddie Hearn, and I believe the founder of Matchroom Boxing. And he said, Eddie Hearn said, I'm glad that you guys had a good chin wag. Like, chin wag must be British for opening your mouth, like you're wagging your chin, like it's going up, and good conversation. Your chin's going up and down, wagging. So it must be meant you had a good conversation with it, Well, the fact, and I'll send you the financials. I'll send you the financials shortly, which is, how much money you're going to make, what's the financials on it, right? What is it in the, how much money do you think you can make in the UK? How much can you make it in Vegas? Let's look at the fight, look at the monetary breakdown of the fight. Something was very, very interesting to listen to, by the way, man. I like whenever somebody gets up there looking like Mr. Magoo. I don't know, man, y'all might be too young to remember Mr. Magoo, but that's every time I see Shelly Finkel, man, I think Mr. Magoo. So Shelly Finkel, that was very interesting when he talked about that. But he said after that, he never heard from Eddie Hearn again. So now we, fast forward to today, and I'm hoping, once again, man, similar to the other times, I'm hoping that it's a new day. I'm hoping that people are going to recognize, number one, that Deontay Wilder inside of the ring is the truth, man. He's the truth. He does a whole lot of things wrong. He does a whole lot of things wrong, right? Or, and he's got weaknesses in his game. He's got flaws in his game. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, for sure. Not the prettiest thing in the world until you see him flip a dude's, you see King Kong's head flip from one shoulder to the other and bounce back. Till you see this cat was down in the seventh, was not down on the ground in the seventh round, was, got hit, got hurt, buzzed for sure, overcame that, comes back, beats a dude, comes back, losing the fight. Deontay Wilder was losing that fight. I ain't gonna talk about Spilka, whatever. All these other cats is like, oh, Spilka was a bum, and Spilka was giving Deontay Wilder trouble. Don't you remember when Spilka was giving Deontay Wilder trouble? I think Spilka's a southpaw too. He was giving him problems until. So now you got Spilka times 5 in Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, and Luis Ortiz was giving Deontay Wilder problems until eventually Deontay Wilder figured it out. He figured it out. He landed that bomb. He landed bomb after bomb. And a dude like that, Luis Ortiz, could not handle it. And now it should be a new day. It should be a new day. People don't want to hear this. He ain't beat nobody nonsense. Inside the ring. He's proven if Deontay Wilder is not worthy of Deontay Wilder is not worthy of a Anthony Joshua fight, then Anthony Joshua needs to retire, because there's nobody for him to fight. It's 100% clear that he is the dude. And as far as all the money and all that goes, the money is what it is. I had a cat on the live stream last night say, well, what about this 50-50 stuff? My first, answer to the question was, I don't want to talk about it. Really, I don't care. I don't care how much money these dudes get. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of money. However, If it winds up being that Anthony Joshua gets 60-40, then so be it. Then so be it. As long as the fight happens. And if the fight happens and Deontay Wilder catches that dude when his head ain't moving, then we're going to see whether or not it's going to be 60-40 the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you this. If Deontay Wilder hits him, like if Deontay Wilder hits Anthony Joshua like Vladimir Klitschko hit Anthony Joshua, it's going to be a very short and ugly night. It's going to be a very short and ugly night because Deontay Wilder's not going to let up off of him. He's not going to let up off of him. If Anthony Joshua is able to hurt Deontay Wilder like Luis Ortiz hurt Deontay Wilder, hey, Anthony Joshua is big and strong, man. Might be able to get him up out of there. But we got to see, man. We got to see it in the ring. So it is what it is, man. But I'm going to tell you one thing for sure. I do not want to hear about Dillian Whyte, man. I do not want to hear about Dillian Whyte. Don't bring up Dillian Whyte. I don't want to. Who is he? Don't care about him. With that, I'm out. Peace.